Welcome back to Car Chat TV. My name is Oliver, and in today's episode I'm going to be comparing two 7-seater SUVs. Everyone's in the market right now for an SUV, so why not probably take the best two of the 7-seater options. We've got the Audi Q7, we've got the Land Rover Discovery. Now what are we going to compare them against? We're going to look at space and practicality, we're going to look at interior quality, and finally we're going to see which one handles the best on the road. Right, let's get started. Throw me the keys. First things first then, when we buy a car, we're looking at the looks, aren't we? So let's do a quick walk around of both cars, starting with the 2020 facelift Audi Q7. Awesome, gorgeous lights, better bumper design, and you've got the octagonal grille on the facelift. Now this actually has a Centurion vibe modifications on it. So we've got a front splitter here. It's the black edition, so it does sit a little bit lower, 15mm, sportier suspension. You get that on the black edition and the Vorsprung. So you've got the black elements here, kind of few touches here with the creases, contouring of the car. It definitely is the best Q7, looks-wise in my opinion. Again, black gloss here. Really not sure why the chrome's still on this bar, a part of the boot. So let's keep coming. Now, interestingly, they both have the same wheels. All right, 23-inch is here, Centurion wheels there, black gloss. You still got the black side skirts as well, that's a Centurion touch. And then the Land Rover Discovery. We'll start here. As you can see, same wheels, but also pop-in calipers. I do like the yellow fluoro kind of design. Not sure about the lights being tinted a little bit. You'll have to let me know about that. Now, this is a Centurion edition bumper. You'll notice it's a little bit different than the other Discovery. Look how the configuration of the exhaust. So these are fake exhaust tips, but I think it does look a little bit better. Cool little funky spoiler. The design of the Discovery's always caught me a little bit. The back is a bit unorthodox, but it's for purpose and functionality to get those 7 seats in the back. So wheels again, I do like the wheels, they do look good. And then we'll come around the front. Right, so we've got a Centurion badge instead of the Discovery badge, which tells you it's been Centurion modified. Front bumper different as well. Look at these side curtain vents here. So on the original one, it's a little bit more open here. You have a kind of a geometric shape that comes across the bumper. These, you could say, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more narrow and angular. So they're the two cars, there's the two looks, both completely different. This is very curvy, a little bit more subtle, and that's a little bit more angular, a little bit more aggressive, should we say. But you'll have to let me know, based on looks, what you would choose in the comments. But my choice, Audi Q7. Space and practicality. So I found myself at the rear of the Audi Q7. Let's jump in and see if this space is fun. Right, so let me slide over to this side. Have to move over the tunnel there, but as you can see, I'm 5'11", head space is booming, it's good. Knee space is good, but this seat actually has been moved quite a lot back, so I could actually get some more on there. And in the Q7, one cool thing is, if I could find it, these actually are reclinable, so I can bring it down a little bit more. So space in the Q7, in the second row seats, for a 5'11" guy like me, it gets the tick. Right, let's jump in the back, because this is a 7-seater, don't forget. Let's see what it's like and how easy it is to jump in the third row. So I've got a little handle here. They're not electric. It is the most far forward it can go. Right, that's it, is it? Now I've been on many expeditions. This should be a piece of cake. Here we go, right. Sat in the back, okay, I could get someone next to me. Let's bring this up to give you a real honest, real word view of what it would be like to travel. Okay, so it's not too bad. I have got a tiniest bit of space between my knee and the back of these seats. But quite frankly, on a long journey, I would feel claustrophobic back here. There's a little drink holder and whatnot, and here's the seat belt to go across. So that has been the Audi Q7 space in the seats and the back seats and the 7 seats. It's time to find out what the Discovery has to offer. Let's go. Whoa, it's a funny shaped door. Let's jump in here. Now this, because the interior already it's a little bit more roomy and light, and look, the channel and the tunnel is a lot lower, so it's easier to slide across. And if I'm being honest, immediately the seats and the headrests feel a little bit more upmarket in terms of quality. Now, knee room, decent, headroom, brilliant. Now that the Q7 over there actually doesn't have any sunroofs. This has 2 sunroofs, so lots of light just pouring in, making me feel nice and airy, less of a claustrophobic vibe. Again though, plenty of space. Let's jump into the 7-seater and find out what that's about. 7 seats are in the back. Now let's see what it's like. Now this, oh that's better. I've actually got an electric button here, and here to be fair, to help me, and that's moving for me as well. This is definitely a lot more practical. Are you going to come any further? Have I got to? Now, come on. That is a little bit better than the Q7, isn't it? That's a bit better. I've got a little ledge here as well I can step into, and I'm greeted by that space. Let me get in. Let me get in. Right, let's bring this back. I like that. I can just move this back. Bring this. Okay, well, slow it up. Move that a little bit forward. Now this is a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. This definitely helps. This sunroof just takes away that feeling of claustrophobia. I'm in a cold, dark space. This light coming in, I've got light coming in through the windows here. I've even got a little cubby here with a charging 5-volt. There's just more space, and the seats feel more plush, definitely. So as a 7-seater, even little handles, you just can't beat this. Already, you could probably tell by the tone of my voice, just getting in and just being able to have the seats being electric to help me get in. I had to clamber over the seats. Something that kids can do with ease, but come on, adults, they need a bit better accessibility. So far, it's a win for this. I'm really liking the vibe of the Land Rover Discovery at the moment. So you know what? Let's jump out, get in the driver's seat and see what the Discovery's like on the road. So I've jumped into the Land Rover Discovery. Immediately, because of the cream interior, it feels very light and airy, and I think this is a style of brown on the doors. I'm not sure what I feel about that, but let me know what you think of brown, this brown color scheme in the car. So far it feels very easy to drive. Visibility is great. I've got a lot of bonnet that I can see. Great, gives me confidence. The wing mirrors are nice and fat, I can see out of them. Out the back is good. Got these little armrests as well, which kind of feels a little bit more of a chilled out, comfortable vibe. This has got 255 brake horsepower, 600 Newton meters of torque. This is a 3-litre V6 diesel. Very interesting because the Q7 is exactly the same. It's a 3-litre V6. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out, feel some of the suspension, a couple of bumps there. They've both got air suspension, adaptive dampers in these cars. So it'll be interesting to see the ride quality, what they're both like on the road. At the moment, the steering feels great in the Discovery. Very light, very agile and easy to move. So how does the Discovery handle and feel on the roads? The suspension is incredible. It's air suspension, adaptive dampers, so you can change your settings around here, and also with the different Land Rover off-road programs are great, but it's so easy to drive. It's so easy to drive. The steering is lovely and light. There is a slight delay, I would say, on turning, but it's not a deal breaker. It still does what it is meant to do. The gearbox is nice and smooth, 8-speed automatic gearbox. I see this as such a great family car on going on adventures with your family, just hauling loads of stuff in the car, filling it up, and just going on a wild adventure, knowing that you've got a car that's going to get you out of pretty much any weather, any problems. The suspension is just lapping up everything, and I'm really enjoying this. I feel like this would be a great car to choose if you were going on on an adventure or a week-long trip, or even going cross-country, driving to another country like France or whatever, this car can do it all. Now, Land Rover say that this V6 3-litre diesel can do 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds. In a 2,230 kilogram SUV, I want to find that out. Let's go. Oh, that took a little bit of a while to get going. Oh, and there we are. Well, okay, that did feel sluggish, I'm not going to lie. And now we are picking up a bit of pace. And one thing I would say is, when you need to brake, tell yourself, brake a couple seconds earlier, because you are shifting a lot of weight in this 7-seater SUV. So I'm on my way back to jump into the Audi Q7. We should talk about miles per gallon, because they're both V6 3-litre diesels. Now, Land Rover say this can get 33.7 mpg. I have my trip on here and I reset it at the start of this journey, and it's saying 22.9. 22.9 it is. 22.9 mpg, so it's a little bit different. One important feature for me in a big SUV is camera quality. So we're having a little look at the Land Rover Discovery here. It's quite clear, it's quite visible. I'm not sure about all this big whiteness around the side. It looks a little bit dated. The infotainment is a little bit dated on this. It's not as good as the updated PIDI Pro system that we saw in the Defender. But it's pretty clear and it works. It shows you some guidelines. It'll be interesting to see the quality difference of the Q7 compared to this. So the Land Rover Discovery can tow a maximum of 3.5 tons, 3,500 kilograms. Now that is the same as the Audi Q7, so there's not much comparison there, but it just shows another element to this absolute weapon. Now I've got Adam in the back. Let's talk about the comfort levels and the space that he is experiencing in this Discovery. Ads, talk to me.
Okay. Well, I'm actually quite comfortable in the back. The back seats are nice and bright. This one is spec'd with like the creamy white interior, and you can see I've got plenty of knee room. I think you can get the rear seats to shift a bit further back, because you can see the gigantic boot behind me. It's got some bags in, but I've actually got most of my bags in the footwell here. I've got the camera. There's no centre bit here, so you've got plenty of space and lots of light. So I'm actually really comfortable, and suspension wise, real smooth.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, awesome. There you go. Adam's happy, smooth, plenty of space. I think that's a big tick. Now the looks of the new Discovery definitely have people divided, because it is a bit of a funny shape from that of the old generation design, but because of the new design and its aerodynamics, it actually makes the Discovery a lot quieter inside than the older generation, which is a little bit more quadratic and boxy. Love or hate the design, inside in the cabin is tranquil and relaxing and a lot quieter. So let's talk about the boot space, because space is a big factor in an SUV. Now, if you have all 7 seats up, you've got 258 litres of boot space. If you take that third row seats down, you've got 1,130 litres of boot space, which does beat the Audi Q7. Well, that's been the Discovery, and to be honest, that was really fun. Very comfortable, very smooth, but now it's time for the Q7. Let's jump in that and see how it drives. So I'm inside the Audi Q7. I do love the Audi steering wheels, and they're definitely, this one's thicker and chunkier than the thin, dainty Land Rover Discovery wheel that I've just come from. So straight away, I've noticed that with my feelings on my hands on the wheel. It doesn't seem the visibility is as good. I mean, I can see a lot of bonnet still, and I have got good visibility, but there was something a little bit about the Discovery that just seemed a little bit more visible, basically, because I think maybe it might be to do with the sunroofs. This hasn't got a sunroof. Now, this is the Black Edition. This is a little bit more of a techie car, I should say. This is a 2020. It's a facelift from the 2019 they brought in. So to directly compare the digital display to the Discovery wouldn't be fair, but we can still compare what they both drive like and the suspension and what they feel like on the road. Now, statistics with this car, it's another V6 3-litre diesel. This one's got 282 brake horsepower, so a little bit more poke, 0 to 60 of 6.5 seconds. So that'll be interesting to try out as well. I'm just going a little bit slower because they've got those sleeping policemen, is what my mum used to call them, the bumps on the road. Did anyone else's mum used to call them sleeping policemen? Let me know. And then this is actually lighter than the Discovery, so 2,140 kilograms. So that'll be interesting to see how that weight handles on the roads as well. Right, we're going to get out of this B road and take it onto some better roads, and then we'll talk more. So space in the Audi Q7 is still plentiful. With all seats up, all 7 seats, 295 litres of boot space. Put the third row down, 770 litres, still loads. And put them all down, even more space. Both cars have got a ton of space. The Discovery, a little bit more so. Now, I've got Adam back in the seats behind me. That's always a good person to go to find out just how comfy it is back there. Talk to me, Ads.
Right, so we're in the back of the Q7, and what I can say is it feels a bit more claustrophobic. I don't feel like I've got as much room in this as the other one. I like you have got some sort of display down here, a bit of display for the fans and whatnot. That's quite nice. The seats do feel quite nice and squishy, but I think all in all, I prefer the back seats of the Discovery.
More comfortable, you're saying?
I would say they're a bit more comfortable. So the suspension wise, you can feel it a bit more in this car. It feels a bit more sporty, even from the back seats. And I just feel like there's not as much room. You've got this tunnel in the middle there. So
if you had to choose them, what one are you saying is better?
I'm saying Discovery.
There you go, you're saying Discovery. So interior, both cars very plush and luxurious. On the Q7 we've got a bit of suede in the doors. We've got this nice bit of trim here. There's a bit of vinyl, it's kind of like a wood effect, but it's not actual wood. Now the Land Rover had a little bit of a lighter vibe, and I think softer leather as well. These are really comfortable. It's very, very tight on the interior because I am an Audi man as well, and it does pain me to say that I think it was a little bit more luxurious in the Land Rover Discovery, but this is very, very close, and definitely it is subjective, but I'm just edging towards the Discovery. So I'm driving on the A roads in the Q7, and the suspension is great. It's got 5 different height settings, and they change through the drive selects. Now, if you're familiar with Audi, brilliant, but if you're not, I will go through them. So we've got a little button down here, and you've got comfort mode, which steering's a little bit lighter, softer suspension, and then you've got efficiency, which maximizes your MPG, so it won't hold onto the gears as long. All road, highest setting for the air suspension, so if you want to go off-roading, you've got that. And then auto, and then dynamic. So auto's like a little bit of a balance, and then dynamic, which is the lowest setting of the air suspension. Now this is a black edition. Now black edition and Vorsprung get 15mm lower suspension, and it already, compared to the Discovery, this car feels a little bit more agile, a little bit more planted on the road, and the steering is more direct and positive. Now, does that matter in an SUV, in a big, large SUV? It's not a deal breaker, is it? But it is something that I have noticed almost immediately. It's got more go as well. It's got more go, and you can tell immediately that the Q7 is just a little bit more agile than the Discovery. So just like we did with the Discovery, we're having a little look at the rear camera. Quality is looking great. I've got the lines, the guidelines. And to be fair, the infotainment's bigger in this car, 10.1 inch. So that's better, it's bigger, it's clearer, it's more visible. And I'd say it probably wins out just a bit. But in the Discovery, it was pretty clear as well. But I think it's good just to show you the comparison between the two. So Audi say that this Q7 can do 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Now the Discovery was 7.6, so I'm expecting a little bit more of a quicker acceleration. Let's find out what it feels like. 6.5 seconds, let's go. Takes a bit of a going, but now there we go, bit of a kick. Okay, And there it is. Yeah, definitely quicker, but still SUV, not a performance car. And yeah, you've got to remember that. So I'm taking the Q7 on exactly the same B roads that I took the Discovery on. And I have got to say, the Q7 is the more agile car. It's more positive. The steering is much more direct than the Discovery. There's less body roll and lean, but it takes away, you kind of forget you're in an SUV. When you're in the Discovery, you feel like you're in a weighty SUV. Now this is lighter. I mentioned earlier, 2,140 kilograms. But is what you're looking for an agile, more responsive on the acceleration? Is that what you're looking for in an SUV? Or do you care more about the space and the luxury side? Because at the moment, the Audi Q7 actually drives better. It's more agile. Again, steering works perfect, does what it needs to do. And when I put my foot on the accelerator, it's ready to go. It's got more oomph in that 282 brake horsepower. So a big factor to consider in is miles per gallon. Now we know they're both 3-litre V6 diesels. This is lighter, the Discovery is heavier. Audi say that this does 33.2 combined MPG. Now I've had my trip on, I reset it at the start just like I did with the Discovery. So we're going to go to my dash and I'm going to tell you 25.9 mpg, 25.9 mpg to 33.2. So it's a little bit off. So again, these are big heavy cars. They're both 3-litre, thirsty V6 diesels. And God blimey, with the prices of fuel at the moment, it's definitely something to consider. So I'm going to head back to Centurion and I'm going to give you my final verdict on which is the better car. Big shout out to Centurion Automotive for allowing us to take these cars out today. Now, if you want to see more about Centurion Automotive, just click the link in the description below. But right now, it's time for me to get out of this car and choose a winner. So that has been the Q7. Wow, that was much more agile than what I expected an SUV to be like. A big heavy SUV, definitely more fun to drive. Right, it's decision time, Oliver, come on. Let me drink in the looks again. Discovery on my right, Audi Q7 on my left. Both big SUV 7-seaters. The decision, I'm gonna make is I'm gonna have to go with the Discovery, and I'm going to tell you why. It's more of a complete car. The 7 seats are more usable, there's more space, and it is good on the roads. On the motorway, on the A roads, B roads, you can have no problem. It's still really comfortable. You've got those off-road settings. It's going to get me out of more trouble with this, and as a family package, I just think this car offers a little bit more. If you're someone that wants a more agile experience and a more fun drive in an SUV, then the Q7 is definitely for you. But today, the winner is the Discovery for me. That's my advice. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, throw me a like, get subbed, turn on your notification bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one.